Welcome to High Bank Fury, the podcast. I'm Roy J. Akers. In this edition, we get answers from the owner of Joe Gibbs Racing, of course, Hall of Fame owner, Joe Gibbs. Joe, you had two drivers advance to the finals and a third, Christopher Bell, barely miss. Assess how Joe Gibbs Racing did in 2025.
Good terms to be able to chat on Championship 4 week for you with Denny Hamlin and Chase Briscoe going this weekend to Phoenix in hopes of capturing the NASCAR Cup Series Championship. Obviously, last night, you guys had Christopher Bell not advancing, so I know you have mixed emotions most likely. But can you just tell us what the last few weeks have felt like for your organization?
Well, I felt like kind of going into yesterday, it's been, an outstanding year for us. But in pro sports, you can have some tough Mondays, and we're having one today because, yesterday we hate it with the 20 kind of missing being in the playoffs there. And it was just one of those days where, hey, you got to give credit to the Hendrick cars, did a fantastic job, and you got to give them credit on a day like that. But the way everything worked out for us, our playoff schedule is so tough. The 20 has had a heck of a year, but we just wound up yesterday. We just weren't quite good enough to get in. So that part of it is a downer, but we have two cars that obviously to be in the Final Four is a thrill for us. You got the 11 with Denny and Chris Gale and all the emotion and stories that goes with that car. And then you got our first year car with Chase and James just having a heck of a year.
One of the most heartbreaking things that happened all of 2025 was that Denny Hamlin he got to the finals, almost won the whole thing, but it got away. What are your feelings on all of this and how Denny was after the heartbreaking loss?
Well, I think he's the experience. As you know, in pro sports, that's something that you just can't teach someone. They've got to experience it. And I think Denny, over these years, 60 wins and being here for this amount of time, I think you listen to him in meetings, and he really, with the experience and everything, is really good, I think, for the young drivers that are in that room, because he sees things just as a veteran would. He's been through almost everything. He kind of understands it. He works extremely hard in the sim, but his preparation and everything, I think a veteran guy like him, it's hard to, that kind of experience really means a lot. So hopefully our sport is so hard, it shows in how hard our sport is. You got to be able to get to the final four, which we've done with Denny. Now you got one race, and, you got to make it happen.
On the other side of the sturdy, we bring back Coach Joe Gibbs, and he takes our questions.
Are you ready? Let's go!
In the moments that matter most.
Oh, it's a multi-car accident. That took out about 2/3 of the field.
Charlie, hello. Just play the red.
You count on reliability.
Give our safety workers plenty of room to work.
For more than 40 years, AMCUS has been a partner of NASCAR, arming first responders with an arsenal of hydraulic and battery-powered rescue tools designed to help them move faster and stay safer.
A nice assist from the AMR safety team.
Trusted by first responders nationwide when it comes to saving lives. That's why AMCUS is the trusted rescue tool of NASCAR.
He has gotten out of his race car on his own 2 feet.
Proven in the toughest moments. Tested on the biggest stages. Proudly made in the USA and powered by decades of innovation. 40 years of trust. 40 years of saving lives. Built for rescue.
AMR safety team, super quick as they always are.
Built for precision.
Really good job in traffic.
Built for victory.
Absolutely dominates this race.
Let's go, fella! Awesome job.
This is Roy J. Akers for the High Bank Fury podcast. We are found multiple times weekly where we talk to NASCAR drivers, cover stories, and those that shape the sport. This is not just another podcast. We get exclusive content, talk fantasy NASCAR racing, and spill the news before other media outlets drop their take. We are on all podcast channels, the YouTube channel, and can be found on skyviewsports.net. Check out High Bank Fury, the podcast, today. We have Hall of Fame owner Joe Gibbs. He's with us taking our questions on High Bank Fury. Joe, obviously spending a lifetime in sports, you understand so many people that look at these athletes and what they do is superhuman. It's easy to forget that they are just human. Denny Hamlin is going through things. He's talked about his father, the things with his race team. What is it that you see in terms of the human side of Denny Hamlin that maybe most people do not see or realize?
Well, you're right, Dustin, in that, we look at these guys, very few people can do this. Get in a car, go 200 miles an hour, compete against somebody. And so when you get one, it's a huge deal for a race team. So for them, though, to be able to achieve that, then there is the whole personal side. It's your relationships, everything. I know I've experienced a lot with JD and Coy not being here. And so you go through those emotions, and sometimes we have a tendency to forget about that and only think about somebody being an athlete. But there's so much to this. And if you think about Denny, where he is right now with Dennis, his dad, and all that the family went through to sacrifice for him, he brings that up all the time. Then everything he's got going at 2311, okay, and then what he's got going with us, you just realize that's a lot. And so I think he's a very unusual person to be able to handle all that. He's also a gifted athlete. So I would say from the time that Denny first came on board, 20 years ago, I think probably where he is today is probably one of the biggest changes that I've seen in a person. And I think a lot of it's because of his family now and Jordan and the kids. There's just a lot there. And so I think our fans appreciate that because they know a lot about the drivers. And certainly our four guys are totally different. They got different things that are taking place in their worlds. And so you make a good point. Sometimes we have a tendency to forget that, but it plays a major role, I think, with great athletes.
Finally, Coach, can you discuss the parallels between coaching a championship team in the NFL and coaching championship teams in NASCAR?
Yeah, I think the thing, I've kind of said this before, but as far as the two sports, it is kind of amazing how much they are alike. In football, you're not going anywhere in football unless you got a great quarterback. Over here, it's what? The driver. Okay, in football, you gotta have a coach that knows what's going on. Hopefully you have a great coach. Over here, that becomes crew chiefs. Okay, and so the two sports are the fact that our pit crew guys, it's almost exactly like football. They have mandatory weight training twice a week. They have mandatory practice. It's all videoed and filmed. They're paid bonuses on pit stops. I mean, the two sports in that way are a lot alike. Over here, we got a car. And many times that thing will not obey. It doesn't, you can't chew it out or threaten it. Okay. But I do think the two sports are a lot alike. My role is totally different. In football, I can make it happen. I was over there. I grew up in it, technically call plays, make it happen. Over here, I can't. Okay. And so my role over here is totally different. Pick the people, work with the people, try and keep our sponsors happy. And I said, my biggest thrill is trying to pay the bills the first of every month. So my role here is different. I would say this, there are a lot of similarities between this sport and the NFL. Those are the only two I've been in. but it's kind of amazing, really. And you're trying to win a championship. The one thing that we talked about is different. Over here, you have 4 teams. That's a real challenge, really difficult. How do you get 4 teams to work together? I think that NASCAR is really tough from that standpoint.
Thank you, Coach Gibbs. In 2026, this is going to be another outstanding year for Joe Gibbs Racing. I know that you hope so. This has been the latest edition of High Bank Fury. This is Roy J. Akers reporting.